So let me tell you about what we offer. So specifically, I want to talk about our MBA program first, like the general goals that we pursue in our MBA programs, and then we're gonna switch gears to our MSBA program. So let's start with our MBA program. Can we go to the next one, please? Okay, so in terms of the focus of the program, we try to prepare students for careers and roles as future global leaders. Okay. And in order to do that, we try a variety of different courses related to artificial intelligence, the courses that are related to just business, finance, and leadership. As I mentioned, if you go to one of these MBA programs, typically there are core classes that you have to choose from. And these are typically like the core foundational pillars of business: finance, marketing, accounting, analytics, etc. But in addition to that, we incorporate some courses related to ethics, leadership, artificial intelligence to make sure that the program stays up to date. Our curriculum is very innovation driven, and we try to promote and emphasize on strategic thinking and leadership skills in our students. Again, because the goal is to make sure that they're ready for future global leaders. We try to emphasize a global perspective in all of our courses. If you check those courses, a lot of them are combining different case studies, different examples, different companies that are global, to make sure that the students who are taking these classes are not only exposed to American companies, but they also get the exposure and see how business is done in other countries and globally. We try to follow a very multidisciplinary approach. As I mentioned before, the courses that you are taking are completely different in terms of the theoretical foundations behind them, because each one of them is designed in order to ensure that you get the skills in that specific area. Okay, so when you can take a course in artificial intelligence, that's completely separated from what you take in your leadership course, right? So we want to make sure that you gain these different skills and these different perspectives. So a multidisciplinary approach is something that we emphasize a lot in our courses. And lastly, our method of teaching and learning is very hands-on, is very experiential, because we try to move beyond just covering the theories and concepts. We want to make sure that the students know how it's done in reality, and they are able to actually do it by themselves. Because as I mentioned before, the goal is to prepare students to take roles in a rapidly evolving and tech-driven business world. Can we go to the next one, please? So our MBA program offers courses in 4 separate modules. The first one is focused on management leadership. And it seems like we have something in the chat box. Sapir organization. So are we taking questions from the chat box now, or are we taking care of them at the end?
Professor, we can answer all of the questions at the end of this webinar.
Okay, so I see one question in the chat box. We'll get to that question when I'm done with this part of the session. Okay. So, as I mentioned before, we have the first module focusing on management leadership. And if you check the courses that are listed in this module, you take courses related to business law and ethics. You take a course related to leadership. And lastly, from module 1, you take a course related to strategic management of technology and innovation. So again, back to the things that we try to focus on in our MBA program, some of them are listed and offered in your first module. Then you get to the second module, which is a very data-driven module. This module is called Data Analysis Decision Making. You take courses related to applied business statistics. You take a course again related to leadership, but in this case, you try to see it from a data analysis point of view. And lastly, the final course in this module is related to artificial intelligence and its application in business. Can we go to the next one, please? The third and fourth module for our MBA program, the third one is focused on fintech. So we take very advanced very up-to-date courses related to blockchain and digital assets. So the whole discussion of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum. So that's part of the discussion that you have in your fintech module. We have courses related to DeFi, decentralized finance. Again, very up-to-date, very recent changes in the financial industry. And lastly, we have a course in investment analysis. And this one is more like the traditional approach in investment and the type of skills the students need to know in order to invest. And the final module for our MBA program is focused on value creation. So you take courses related to customer value, and this is one of the only marketing courses that we offer for the program. I personally teach this course. The focus of this course is about customer lifetime value, the importance of customers for the business, satisfaction, and that kind of discussion goes under customer value. We have a course related to accounting, specifically accounting information systems for decision making. And lastly, the final course in your value creation module is focused on consulting. So the course is called Analytical Consulting and Strategy. It's a very hands-on course. It's focusing on different case studies and how basically you as a potential consultant can help a business solve their problems. Can we go to the next one, please? Do you guys have any questions? Anything I need to clarify for MBA program up to this point? Okay. So in terms of our teaching method, I'll try to explain it in 3 separate parts. The first part, we are creating, like as a faculty offering these courses, you create some short videos, and these videos are mostly focusing on the conceptual and the theoretical phase of the discussion. Every week you get 2 to 4 short videos in length that are between 15 to 30 minutes. And the goal is basically to provide you some basics, like some theoretical foundations that you need to know in order to understand that topic, right? Then in addition to those recorded videos, we have some live Q&A sessions. Could be done every week, could be done every other week. Typically, we do it on weekends to provide the convenience for students because we know a lot of our students are working full-time and they have very busy schedules. So weekends, typically we do those live Q&A sessions on Zoom. It could be a different platform. And the goal is for students to come to those sessions with their questions. As they are reading those materials and as they are reviewing those videos, they might have some questions as they're approaching those assignments, those cases. There might be some confusion, some questions that they have, and that's why we have those live sessions to make sure that we have that direct interaction between the faculty and the student to make sure that all the questions are answered. And also this gives the faculty an opportunity to go deeper depending on the situation. Sometimes there's a question, for example, about a specific assignment, but that gives me, as the person teaching that class, the chance to talk more about that specific topic, okay? To highlight some of the most important factors related to that topic. And again, these are some of the things that you may not necessarily get from watching the videos. And lastly, we have a very significant emphasis on group activities and teamwork, because we think eventually when you start working in a real world in the industry, you will be part of a team and you have to work with the team. And one of the main skills that we try to develop in our students is related to teamwork. In every single course, there are some group activities that you have to perform and complete. So you're assigned to a team. It could be a case discussion that you complete with your teammates. It could be a group project that you have with your teammates. Or it could be just a simple discussion in class, but the discussion is done by separate groups separately. So again, we try to emphasize that type of a skill and we try to promote that sort of a skill in our students because we think that's one of the things that you're probably going to use a lot as you start in your future job.